If you're holding any altcoins, you're not going to want to miss this video. We could be in for some horrible pain. One of the fears which I was worried about is starting to play out, and we need to be very, very cognizant of the consequences. Bitcoin could be pulling back here much more, and altcoins, as we can imagine, could be set to get wrecked. You need to be aware of this, guys. A couple of weeks ago, I posted this video, Crypto Bloodbath, just starting, and I got a lot of stick about that, people claiming it was a clickbait, it was this, it was no. The fundamental reason, if you watch the video, which did not have any sensationalism in it, it was focused around the idea that, look, if this economy continues to be healthy, Bitcoin could get wrecked, altcoins will bleed badly, and we need to understand this, because this worst case scenario has just been further reinforced by Jerome Powell in his latest speech. At the time, a couple of weeks ago, I was alerted by the ISM Manufacturing Index. That figure came in too hot, showing that the US economy was healthy. We then got a hot labor figure showing that the jobs market was too healthy. We then got hot CPI reading showing that inflation was not coming down. When you tie all of that together, what does it mean? It means that Jerome Powell has a reason to keep interest rates higher for longer. Now, what does that mean? Well, the market has priced in that we were going to get 3 rate cuts this year because that's what we were led to believe. And that's part of the reason we got a nice rally to start this year in risk on assets, which includes Bitcoin and your altcoins. Well, if that scenario now changes and Jerome Powell is saying, no, we may not get those rate cuts this year, guess what? The market has to unwind it. And you can see now the market is starting to unwind the probability of getting rate cuts. Initially, half the market had thought we would get one in the next meeting on June. And that's now being unwound here. Very important that we understand that this is being unwound, and that's going to have an effect on markets. Take a look at what Jerome Powell had to say. More recent data shows solid growth and continued strength in the labor market, but also a lack of further progress so far this year on returning to our 2% inflation goal. The recent data has clearly not given us greater confidence, and instead indicate that it's likely to take longer than expected to achieve that confidence. We can maintain the current level of restriction for as long as needed. This is not music to our ears, guys. This indicates that this exciting rally mode could be over. Now, if this was the traditional market, this is no bueno. This is not good news. It's going to kind of put a halt to their excitement. That, along with the Middle East tensions and crisis going on, makes it difficult for the traditional markets to rally. Of course, crypto is a little bit more difficult. We're a couple of days, let's refresh this. We're a couple of days away, right? Just a couple of days away, about 350 odd blocks away from the Bitcoin halving. And so the question is going to be, what is going to happen? How much can this move? Hold up. Do you want to learn how to trade? Then you need to jump into our Telegram community. Link is in the description. In our Telegram community, I share my altcoins. I share how I do my trade setups, how I do my stop losses and take profit, so you could learn to become a profitable trader. Check it out. Link is in the description. Now, I've shared my view on this. I think we will get buy the rumor, sell the news. I think we can get a pump in the hours leading up to the Bitcoin halving, but I think ultimately we'll get a dump. We'll get an anticlimactic dump, but over many months thereafter, it's hugely positive for Bitcoin, it's hugely positive for the space, and it's going to lead to price going up over time. So anybody who thinks, oh, it's going to go to 100,000 immediately overnight, that's not my view. Don't be surprised to see this go sideways / even down and dump for a while. Before then, over weeks and months, starting to work its way to new all-time highs, because I hugely expect we'll get new all-time highs and head towards 100,000. But for now, things could get worse. I mean, if you take a look, a couple of weeks ago, down 2.7%. Then last week, Bitcoin down 5%. This week, already down close to 7%, with a 4% down day here today. And you've got to understand that we're losing major structure in the charts. There's a lot of fear going on in this market. If I share some of the patterns which we were following, you can see we're breaking down from this triangle. If you look at the other triangle which we're monitoring, you can see we're hugely breaking it. We're losing our daily EMA ribbon. Not only have we lost it, but we're having a big confirmation of this loss, which means we need to find support. We've lost our trend. It's the first time we've properly lost our daily EMA ribbon since we lost it on the 18th of January. So it's been a really strong start to the year, but now we're getting our first major pullback of this year, and we need to be prepared so we do not get wrecked, right? We need to be prepared. This move here could lead to us losing the 60,000 level. And if we lose the 60,000 level, guess what, guys? We need to start looking for some strength, right? Where are we going to find some support? And really, if you want to take a look at it, the first major support you're going to start to see is this cluster here. Because look, when we broke out of this wedge, this was a falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern. Look how quickly we rose up to the next level, which is where we're at now, right? So equally, when you lose this cluster here, you fall to the next cluster, which is down in this region, which brings you back down to Bitcoin in the 53 to 50,000 range, right? 50K to 53,000. And you can best believe if we do that, what's going to happen to Fear and Greed Index? People are going to panic. People are going to get nervous, right? Bunch of people are going to get liquidated, and that's going to create more of a sell-off. So those are the opportunities I'm waiting for. If we lose 60K here, I expect a lot more FOMO to come in, trigger us down to some of those 50K levels. These are the positions I'll be looking to buy the dip. I would love to be buying the dip in some of these areas. If we get these dumps post the halving, that is where I'd want to be. For me, to buy Bitcoin now at like 50,000, which from the all-time highs, I mean, you're talking about a discount. If we take that down to 50,000, you're talking about 30% discount post-halving? I mean, for me, that's insane. Knowing you've got a Bitcoin spot ETF, knowing you've got a Hong Kong ETF, knowing that at some point, yes, it may be delayed, but at some point, Jerome Powell will have to cut interest rates and we're going to be in a loosening cycle, which is hugely positive for having a bull market, not just in stocks, but in crypto as well. I would love to be nibbling at those levels. So maybe we don't get them. Maybe we come down to the 60 level. Even at 60K, you're talking about a 20% discount. Anywhere in this range between 20 to 25% discount, I like it. I'm going to be nibbling in this range. I'm going to be actively buying. And the lower we go, the more I'll be buying closer to 50K. That's where we're looking for support. Now, after there, there's no point kind of worrying too much about it now, but just so you know what I'm thinking, after there, if we lose 50K, that's when you start to pull back to bigger levels, right? Then we need to talk about 45. We need to talk about whether 40 is possible, etc., etc. Now, if we zoom out to the weekly chart, you'll start to understand the structure a little bit better. If I tidy up some of the lines, this is really what we're doing right now. You can see that Bitcoin's curling over and trying to retest these levels. So if it cannot bounce now and head in that direction, that's where we're getting that bigger pullback, right? That's where we're really having to come down because the next pivot point is here. You can see this pivot point at 52, and then you've got this level of support here at 48. So you can see clearly from the charts where those support level lies. Now, it's important to understand on this leg up, it's been a really steep leg up, so do not be surprised to see that leverage get flushed out to the downside as well, right? There's a lot of people who are buying in at 70, 71, 72, 73. They're in red in their positions, and they panic sell. And when they panic sell, price goes down. But there's a good saving grace here. When those traders panic sell, when those tourists panic sell, typically what you find is that they panic sell to people who have a long-term horizon, who want to hold for a little bit longer. They're often selling to more sophisticated Bitcoin crypto investors who know that I'm going to hold this for a long time. And so when you see that transition from short-term holders to long-term holders, that is normally when you're ready for your next leg up. And that's what I'm waiting for here on Bitcoin. Now, of course, if we see this dump on Bitcoin, as I've just described, expect your altcoins to get decimated, right? Altcoins already bleeding. Phantom down 5%. You can see Ethereum here down 3.5%. You're seeing Solana down 4%. Avalanche down close to 5%. Dogecoin down 5%. Algorand down 5%. I mean, you're going to see blood in the streets, right? Which is why if you don't have conviction in your projects, these kinds of flush downs can get you wrecked. Be very, very careful out there, guys. If you're looking to DCA, then make sure you're doing from a position of strength. Don't chase green candles. You can see how just a couple of weeks ago, people were FOMOing in. And what was I saying in videos? Guys, pullbacks come. Do not FOMO. Do not chase the green candles. This is why. On these red days where there's blood on the streets, this is where you buy. This is where you need to be training your mind to buy, because has the technology of your favorite altcoin changed between a couple of weeks ago and now? No. Right? No. The only thing that's changed is you don't have the green candles and the social proof to pump you up to get you to buy. It's harder to buy when the market's red and falling, right? And that's the challenge in crypto. You've got to be able to buy with conviction on the pullbacks. So there you have it, guys, a tricky macroeconomic moment, something I warned about weeks ago, so it's not a major surprise, but at the same time, we've got to navigate it. It means that we need to unwind these rate cuts, which were priced in because we may be higher for longer, therefore the rally could be delayed. If you appreciate this type of content, smash all the likes, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.